because we don't fully understand it, right? Because it's supernatural, we go, whoa, I'm a human, I don't know what I'm doing. And that's true. And if we start trying as a group, operating the gifts of the Spirit and giving maybe a message of wisdom to somebody, or we try operating and giving a word of encouragement to somebody and we don't fully know the situation, there's a possibility that it might get messy and we might not fully do everything right. Is that possibility there? Yes. Absolutely, that possibility is there. However, we can't let that possibility stop us from trying to be used by God. For example, has anybody ever seen bad witnessing? Like the dude on the street dancing around in some, like, he's dressed up like the Apostle Paul and he's got a sign that says choose heaven or go to hell or something like that, you know? It's like, buddy, don't do that. Keep driving. Don't make eye contact with that guy. Keep going, keep going, keep going. And you just think that is not an effective way to share the message of God's love to people. I don't want to be associated with that guy who's just like being, you know, and we get nervous. But just because that's ineffective or that's not the way we want to witness, does that mean we'll stop witnessing? No. We must continue to share our faith. Has anybody ever heard bad preaching? I know that's a dangerous question to ask, eh? Not from this pulpit, all right? Not from this pulpit. But yeah, we've all heard bad preaching at some point where we thought, man, where was that guy going? What were they saying? Man, they sounded angry. They sounded like they were just going off on some tangent, and boy, it really didn't strengthen or build up anybody. What was happening there? But just because we've experienced bad preaching, does that mean we're going to stop preaching? No. So just because there's moments when we goof up when it comes to the spiritual gifts, and we try to deliver a message to somebody, or we try to reach out to them by using our spiritual gifts, just because we goof up sometimes and we go too far one way or the other, does that mean we're going to stop? No. We will not abandon the use of the gifts just because it's messy and we don't fully understand it. We have to utilize the gifts of the Spirit because they take what's natural and they make it supernatural to draw people closer to Him. And so in a church service, you may have been here before, when somebody maybe at the end of worship or at some other time in the service, they speak out, and you may be sitting over there and it's happening over here and you're going, who's that dude? Where's that guy? I can't see him, and there's this voice. What's happening is that person was just feeling an impression on their heart at that moment to speak what God was telling them. Now, that gets messy, right? Because now all of a sudden we're giving 300 people the freedom to say whatever they want to say, whenever they want to say it. Uh-oh. But that's where the give and take comes. That person has a responsibility to, first, when they hear God speaking to them, they have to decide, is this God or is this me? If it's God, is this word for me? Is it for somebody else that I need to go talk to? Or is it for the church body corporately? That's what that person has to decipher. Okay? And that's not an easy thing to decipher. After, let's say they do deliver a message, we as a church body have a responsibility to listen to that and say, did that encourage and build us up? And was that scriptural? We get to test it. And if we don't think it was right, that's when the leadership can meet with that person and say, hey man, I think that message was, I love that you're hearing from God. I love that, and I love that you want to build the church up, but I think that one was for you. Or maybe you should seek out a little bit more on that and bring some more clarity, because maybe he's trying to direct you to a certain person, but I don't think that was... And as the leadership, that's our responsibility, to coach people through that. Not to say, don't you ever, and I mean never, say anything from God again, okay? That's not helping people grow. But it's our job as a leadership to pastor people through that and say, keep listening to the voice of the Holy Spirit, because He's going to use you. I'll tell you what we don't do. Thus saith the Lord. Right? That's weird. We don't do that. We don't talk like that, do we? When God speaks through us, He uses us. We don't change who we are.